Hello friends, welcome to the video number 20 for the Visual Basic for Applications in Excel series. And well, in this video we're gonna talk about the for each next block of code to repeat pieces of code. And well, I have created here a very simple example. Um, and actually we are also gonna be learning a few new things that we haven't seen in the previous videos. So I guess the first thing we can see here is that I am declaring these variables to be a new type of data. In this case is the range. So we haven't seen this before. We are now declaring a variable to make a reference to a range of cells. Then I have with this one, with my data, I'm gonna be collecting all the data that I have in here. Okay, let's just delete this. And then we're gonna be having another variable that is this sum. So I'm gonna be accumulating all the data that I have in here in this particular variable. And then finally I have another range, which is I'm gonna call it sum range. And now the difference for this type of variable, for example, we cannot just say sum range equals to range something like we have been doing in other data types. For this range data type, we gotta set it. We gotta say, okay, set this variable, my sum range in this case, and make it equal, or set it to be equal to the range that goes from A1 to A9. So now with this range, we have all the cells that we want to loop through, or we want to go through collecting the data. Then here I'm just initializing my sum. I'm gonna say, okay, sum equals 0 for now. And then we're gonna actually make our for each next block of code. So you just need to write it like this: for each my data, which is gonna be each individual number that I have here in each cell. So for each my data in some range, we just set it some range to be the range from A1 to A9. What you are gonna be doing, VBA, is you're gonna take whatever the value it is right now in the variable sum, and then you are gonna add that to whatever it is in my data, and then store it back again as sum, right? And then, well, what you're going to do is go to the next my data until you actually get out of the range and you finish. And then on A10, I want you to print or to write the value that is stored in sum. Okay, so now let's just now run it. And well, the value of all these things should be 45. It's what we got. Now, I just want to show you another thing. The watches, you can come here to the view menu, and then just clicking here, watch window. So you're gonna be having this window right here at the bottom. And to add a watch, for example, here I want to see the sum, how it's accumulating the data. So what I'm gonna do is just double click it to select everything, and then with the secondary button of your mouse, just bring up this contextual menu and come here to add watch. By default, it's gonna name it however you have named your variable. That's what I double click it to select it completely. So I can just come here and click OK. So I know that I'm gonna have the same name and I can keep track of this one. Also, for example, my data, I want to know where in my data I am right now, so add a watch. So I have these two variables, and this is very, very useful when you are debugging and you want to keep track of the value of some of your variables. So let's go ahead and use the F8 to make a step-by-step. So as you can see there, we have just entered in the subroutine, and then it already tells me, okay, you have this expression sum, which is right now is 0 and it's an integer. And my data has nothing, the value is nothing, and the type is a range. So let's continue. So now it's telling me, okay, my data, now it's 1, sum is still 0. Now as soon as I execute this one, sum is also 1. Now it goes back, now my data is 2, and sum is 3. Now my data is 3, and sum is 6, and so on. And we finished the subroutine. So again, these watches are very, very useful, especially when you want to see what's going on in your program, what values are being stored in your variables, and you want to debug. So just apply these watches, and it's gonna be very, very well, much easier to debug by looking at the values than just trying to keep them in your mind and trying to figure out what's going on. And well, so again, very, very simple how to use the for each next block of code to repeat code. Obviously, here I made a very simple example, just put one very simple statement, but you can have here as many lines of code as you need. You can actually also call another subroutine or as many subroutines as you need, go do something else, and then come back to the loop and make that as many times as you need. And well, that's gonna be it for now. And my voice is starting to fading. I think I'm gonna get in a flu or something. So I guess I'm gonna stop right now. And well, please don't forget to subscribe, share and like the video. And as always, thanks all of you for watching. And I hope to see you on the next video. We're gonna be talking about the for next, which is a little bit different of the for each next. All right. So I hope to see you then.